Till yesterday, we have discussed about various theoretical concepts of OVAW. Now, today we are going to jump into development part, that is RPD development. Okay, RPD is nothing but a repository file. A file. RPD is nothing but a repository. It's a file that we are going to develop, and that file is deployed into the server at the end. Okay, if you are working on some Java project, then we may be developing a Java file called as like jar file. If you are working on some .NET project, it may have at the end we may be generating a file with an extension of .NET extension, a kind of that. In OVAW, that file, that development file that people used to develop, that is called as RPD. Okay, and from today most of the sessions will be of like practical. Okay, there is no much theory involved here. Okay, let us start here. Okay, coming to the basics of RPD. And coming to the objectives of this session for today. After completion of today's session, you people will be able to understand what is repository in OVAW. And in repository of OVAW, we have three layers. They are physical layer, business model and mapping layer, as well as presentation layer. You will come to know what in detail what are these layers and what is the functionality that takes place in each and every individual layer. And and by the end of the session, you will come to know about what is this Oracle BI administration tool, and what are various features, and what are the operations that we can perform through this Oracle BI admin tool. Okay, coming to the RPD part, uh, I just want to give you a brief on what is this RPD. RPD file is nothing but a file that stores metadata information. RPD is nothing but a file that stores metadata information of various physical data sources that the business users require to analyze in order to develop their business. Okay, RPD is just a file that stores metadata information. I am repeating this once again, guys. RPD is nothing but a file that stores metadata information. Do you everyone know what metadata is? Metadata is nothing but no, it's not filtered data, Rajesh. Metadata is nothing but data that data about data. Metadata is nothing but data about data, or data that defines data. Let us say we have a table where we have employee ID, employee name, manager ID, job, location, and salary. In this table, we call this first column, whatever the column that defines the entire table, that is called as metadata. Metadata is nothing but the information about the structure, whether how the data is structured or organized in a database. In RPD, we are going to import only metadata, and we are going to play with metadata here, because in we have table of this structure, and we have one more table, that is department table, that is department number, department name, and location. Okay, here in this department table only, this this first column defines the entire details of the table. Okay, here this we call this first column as metadata. Metadata information is nothing but information that provides the structure of data, whether how it is organized. Okay, is this clear? And in RPD, what we are going to do is we are going to just import this metadata of tables, and we will be creating all the other operations that we need in order to generate queries on that particular table. So let us say if you want to, if we want a report that consists of employee ID, employee name, and his department name. What we can do is, in here there is no other go for us. We need to create a join between these two tables. Okay. In RPD, what we are going to do is we will be importing metadata of these two table structures, and we will be defining the relationship between metadata of various tables. Okay. We will be importing metadata from the data warehouse, metadata of various tables of that is present in data warehouse, and we will be defining relationship between those tables in RPD file. Okay, I'm repeating once again, guys. RPD, we will have only information about metadata. We are not going to save any kind of, we are not going to load, or we are not going to save any data in RPD. In RPD, we will be playing only with metadata and the relationship between metadata of each and every individual table that is present in a data mart or a data warehouse, or data mart in a data warehouse. Okay, this RPD can be created in OBIW using Oracle BI administration tool. The moment you install OBIW, you will get this folder called as Oracle Business Intelligence. In that Oracle Business Intelligence, we have a component called as BI administration. RPD development activity will be taken place in this component called as this BI administration tool. Okay, and now let us have a brief idea of what is this Oracle BI administration tool and what is the use of this. Oracle BI administration tool is used to import metadata from various data sources. As I have already told you in this data warehousing architecture, that if it is a particular data warehouse, okay, data warehouse is generally built on by importing data from various data sources. And if we are working on an organization that maintains two data warehouses, okay, to be clear, we are working on an organization which maintains two data warehouse, and at the end we need information that is related to both the data warehouses, and we need to generate reports from both warehouses. In order to handle such scenarios, we can import metadata from various data sources in OBI. OBI has given us an option that we can import data from various data warehouses even, or else If we people are going to maintain some kind of data like targets, if it is in marketing industry, they keep on varying these targets, like, right? As these people keep on varying these targets, they used to modify that in an Excel sheet. Okay, we need a report that clubs data between the data in data warehouse as well as this Excel sheet. Uh, we can we can club the data with, with between both these Excel sheet and data warehouse in OBAW. We have various such options because in a single go we can connect to various data sources and we can import metadata of these data sources, and we can create a join between these both data sources data in this RPD development, and at the end this BI server takes care of everything because no data is present in this metadata, only relationship is present in metadata, and BI server fires a query in such a way that it hits whatever the database that we are providing to BI server, and it fetches data and present to us. Okay. The main feature of BI admin tool is it is used to import metadata and it is the only tool where we define relationship between metadata of various tables. Or in Oracle BI admin tool, we can organize metadata into various business models. Okay, we are having a business in which we are having multiple line of business. Like if it is in Amazon, they just want to reports to be organized to various business models, like the warehouse business model, like sales business model, like HR business model. They just want to maintain separate business models for each and every individual section. Okay, let us say they are not maintaining this data mart activity in their data warehouse. Okay, they have not organized data in their data warehouse, and but coming to the reporting part, they just want to maintain some separate sections for their each and every individual line of business. Okay, all this organization activity and all this organizations part can be taken place in this Oracle BI admin tool. Okay, and the other activity that we can perform in this Oracle BI admin tool is we can structure uh, business models, and we can present that business models in a structured way to the end users in the way they understand. Let us say in database perspective, we have different kind of table names, and moreover, we everyone know that in data warehouse or maybe in database perspective, we should not provide column names with spaces. We have a lot of constraints in database perspective, but for the end user perspective, end user is not at all comfortable with spaces in the column names, and end user is not at all comfortable with whatever the column name that is present in the database, because in database the column names and everything will be provided in terms of technical perspectives, but the end user requires names and all the other things in their business perspective. Let us say in banking industry, for technically they used to have some terms like debit, credit, and whatever it may be. But coming to the customer perspective, we as customers, we don't if we can't analyze if it is like if they use big banking terms like loans, ledgers, commitments, and all. Okay, we need all these things in generalized terms, like we can understand only these basic terms like credit and debit, but if they are going to present data like commitment and whatever the other things that they use inside the banking terminologies, it's very difficult for the end users to understand. So all these kind of changes can be performed in this BI admin tool, where we can play with the metadata and we can present it in whatever the manner that we want to present it to the end customers as per their requirements. And this Oracle BI admin tool, coming to overview of this Oracle BI admin tool, this Oracle BI admin tool consists of three layers. The screenshots depicts the clear picture of how Oracle BI admin tool looks like. This Oracle BI admin tool, the entire activity takes place in three layers. They are physical layer, business model and mapping layer, and presentation layer. Okay. In our coming sessions from today, we are going to discuss about each and every layer in detail, because there are a lot of functionalities involved in each and every layer of this Oracle BI administration tool. To give you a brief idea of what are the activities that takes place in each and every layer. In the physical layer, the name itself stands that physical layer consists of information about metadata that is present in various physical data sources. Okay. Physical layer consists of objects representing physical data of various physical data sources. And coming to BMM layer is the layer where we are going to define relationship between various tables that we import into this physical layer. Okay, in BMM layer, business model and mapping layer, we are going to define relationships, and as well as we are going to organize data into various business models, as I have said a few moments back, like HR business model, sales business model, as well as finance business model. Whatever the data that we derive from data warehouse, we will segregate that into various individual components called business models. It will, so that it will be easy for end users if that data is clubbed together. Let us say HR people, they are not at all bothered about sales activities and as well as finance activities, and finance people are not at all bothered about sales. Okay, their entire role is different in their organization, because they are not at all related to each other. These finance activities, they will always take care of finance activities like sales and salaries and all, and HR people, they used to take care of recruitment and employee other problems. And whereas sales people, they always try to improve sales, and their main motto will be like monitoring sales. So there is no need of each and every individual to have an eye on data of other people. So if it is organized in such a way, these people will only be referring to this set of data, and these people only be referring to this set of data. Okay, all these kind of distribution activities will taken place in business model and mapping layer. And coming to the last layer, that is presentation layer. Okay, coming to this presentation layer is nothing but, here we design the presentation part of our data. That is, in whatever the manner that we design in this presentation layer, only that design appears as an output to the end customer. Okay, in whatever the way that we design data in presentation model, I have said in as example, in technical perspective we use one kind of name, but whereas in business perspective, for end user perspective, the name should be changed. All these kind of name changing activities, all these kind of presentation activities will can be done in this presentation layer. Let us say we have this sales business model. In sales business model, we are running we are working in a very big retail chain, where we have a manager and we have sales representatives. Manager needs to have information of all the sales representatives under him, like rep 1, rep 2 and rep 3. But sales representative, in order to have his tracking purpose, he just needs access to only his data. But whereas a manager can view data of each and every sales representative, because he is the person who needs to monitor all the sales representatives. Manager needs data of all sales representatives. So here in this physical layer we can take care of all these kind of security activities even. Okay, all security activities can be taken place in presentation layer. That is, we can maintain a group of sales representatives. Okay, we can define a presentation subject area here. The each and every part is called as subject area in presentation. Okay, from in a for a single sales business model we can have multiple subject areas, like manager subject area, like sales represent subject area. Okay, for managers we can give privileges to access all the data. For sales representatives group, we restrict data to only that particular sales representative. Okay, all these kind of organizational activities and presentation activities can be performed in this presentation layer. Okay, is this clear for everyone up to here? Okay, now let's proceed. Okay, these are all our practical sessions. As I said, in OBI admin tool we are going to work only on metadata, and the main activity that we are going to do in this BI admin tool is importing metadata from the database and selecting what is the data source for us. That is if we are working on Oracle data source, we will be selecting its corresponding connection type. We will be providing its login credentials and everything. And coming to this connection pool. Okay, instead of discussing these things on slides, let's move practically. Okay, this is the only theory that is involved in these admin tool concepts. Okay, let me start from the scratch here. Okay, the moment you install Oracle Business Intelligence on your system, you will get this folder, Oracle Business Intelligence. Okay, in this folder we have this BA administration tool. In this BA administration tool we have these various options, that is new, open offline, open MDS XML and everything. We are going to learn about each and every individual component that is present in this tool, so that we can become masters in developing RPD. Okay, let me start with the first step, that is the main operation that we do in BI administration tool is importing metadata and defining relationship between the data in BI administration tool. Okay, in order to import metadata, go to file and click on this new repository. Okay, go to file and click on this new repository, or else you can click on this button, new. After clicking on here we need to provide repository information. Okay, we just need to provide a name to our repository. I am providing name as training underscore repository. Okay, this is there are no any naming conventions involved for providing names to this repository, we can provide whatever the name you like, but it's better to avoid space bars, because if we are going to do some activities in XML or some other advanced operations, sometimes we may face difficulties if you provide any names with a spacebar kind of thing. Okay, and coming to the location where we save this RPD, initially as per our convenience, we can save this RPD at any location. Okay, we can save this RPD in any location, but as a best practice, we have a default location in Oracle Business Intelligence Server to place RPD. Because why? Because you may be developing your repository on your desktop and you are placing it on your desktop. It's convenient for you. But if 4 or 5 people are going to work on a single project, and it's difficult for each and everyone to contact you for your repository location and everything. As a best practice, it's better to place your repository in default Oracle Business Intelligence server location. I have told you already that this Oracle BI RPD is nothing but a component that is needed to be deployed into the server. Okay, so it's best practice to save this in server location. I am going to show you this server location here. That is, go to my computer. See, uh, it is not restricted to C or some particular component. While installing OBIW, we will be providing a path and we will be providing a folder for it for where we need to install that entire software. Okay, I have given this as BA11G here. Okay, go to this BA11G and inside that we have instances 1, Oracle BI Foundation. I have told you now what kind of component is this RPD.
It's a file which contains metadata.
Okay, and we are going to deploy that into
Server.
okay, this is clear, right? It is nothing but a BI server component. Okay, all BI server component files will be present in this Oracle BI server component location. Okay, go to Oracle BI server component, core application OBS1 repository. Okay, this is the location where all our files get saved.
Can you show me that path once again? Short?
Go to your the home folder which you provide during installation. Go to your home location. This that is whatever the folder you provide for installation during OBI, and then move to instances 1, BI Foundation, Oracle BI server component, core application OBS1, and repository. We will be navigating into this location if each and every time during all our development activities. During initial phase, it will be a little difficult to remember, but we will get used to that. Okay. Okay. Our repository will get saved in this location. Okay. Coming to this import metadata part here. Import metadata is nothing but now let us say we are just planning to create an empty RPD file. Then we can click on no. If you want to import metadata now itself and start our development activities, then we can click on yes. Instead of after this, or else if you want to import a metadata schema that is provided in the form of XML format, then we need to click on this MDS XML.
From where we can get that metadata? You say import metadata, you click yes. Right? Import metadata.
Yes, we can get that metadata from database.
Okay.
Let us say, for example, we are having I have installed Oracle database in my PC, and in our entire training session, I will be connecting to this Oracle database, and there I have two schemas, that is quad schema, that is default Oracle schema, and I have installed this separate schema, that is this supplier to schema. In this supplier to schema is nothing but it's entirely designed in the model of dimensions and facts, that is like kind of star schema here, which will be very convenient for us to work with. Okay, in most of our examples I will be using this supplier to schema. Okay,
And what if we have SQL Server database?
okay,
How
we
to
can.
import from there?
Okay, we are going to discuss that in detail in our coming next steps. Okay,
Okay.
coming to this part, I just want to import some metadata here from my Oracle database. Oracle provides very tight security for each and every repository file that you are going to develop. You need to provide a password so that others can't modify that. And we have some standard rules for defining passwords here. The password should contain one uppercase letter followed by lowercase letters and numericals. Okay, um, I will be providing admin capital A as default pass. I use this as default password for all development activities. Admin 123, and after providing a password, click on next. After clicking on next, this repository information, that is general information of repository, that is repository name and where do we need to save that repository and repository password activities has been performed in this repository information part. And coming to this second part, that is data source selection. As you have asked now, if you want to connect it to SQL Server database, from where do I need to do that? Okay, all these things can be done here. You need to create a ODBC connection to get connected to this MS SQL database. You are aware of that, right? How to create this ODBC connection and all. Okay, if it is an here in these connection types, we have two types of connection types in OBAW. They are generally, Rajesh, if you are using Oracle, then there is no need to define that ODBC connectivity and all. But if you are going to connect to some other kind of databases, which will have, I'm going to discuss that now. Okay, we have two types of connections, that is native connection as well as standalone connection even. Okay, we have native connection and standalone connection. If you are going to connect it to an Oracle database, then we can use this OCI 11G or 10G. That is, this OCI is nothing but Oracle call interface. Okay, these are predefined connections here. If it is like if you are not having any in, info of our database here, we have default connections for Oracle, that is OCI 10G 11G. This is nothing but Oracle call interface. This is used for connecting to Oracle data sources, and this Oracle OLAP. Oracle OLAP is used to create connection bit for Oracle OLAP services like Oracle data warehouses and Oracle ADF, like various different other components. If you want to connect it to a SAP business warehouse, then this SAP native connection. Okay, all these type of connections that are predefined here, they are called as native connections. Okay, all these connections that are predefined for certain databases, like the DB2 is one kind of database, SBase is another database, Oracle is some other database, Hyperion is one database, and SAP is some other database. Okay, all these are different databases, right? if a default connection has been defined here for databases, that kind of connections, they are called they will call these connections as native connections. Okay. If certain connection is not available, if you want to connect to a SQL server, then you need to go to this standalone connections. That is this ODBC connections. We will go to our control panel, and there we will define. We will be creating these ODBC connections as per the standards of that database. For SQL server, I think they will follow one procedure. From database to database, that ODBC connection creation procedure will be same, but the configuration part may differ. Okay. But mostly in OBI, we will be using this OCI 10G 11G or this Oracle OLAP, because for in OBI, most of the project scenarios, they will be maintaining Oracle database as a data warehouse. Okay. As we are working on this Oracle database, I am going to select this as OCI 10G and 11G. Okay. This data source name is nothing but they call, in short terms, they call it as DSN. Data source name is nothing but your Oracle database server location. If it is in real time, you'll be having like server link like 192.1.1.142 point something. Okay. But as I have installed that in my local machine, I have given name as XE. That is data source name. But if it is in real time, you need to provide your server location as well as your source name, even data source name. And all these server locations can also be imported through these native connections. Okay. As a default, we will be providing data source name. That is, if it is like Oracle database, generally in real time, it will be present as RCL. But as I am using an Express edition over here, that is my data source name here is XE. This may varies from database to database, and this is the user defined name only. Okay. There is nothing like to remember this. While starting of the project, they will provide us with all credentials, and we can make use of that credentials. Okay. In each and every database, as I have discussed in our initial phase, that is, in a database, data is organized into database organized into schemas, and these schemas contains tables, and these tables contains columns. In this part, we have given this database details. Okay. We have provided database details. What is the database that we are going to use, and what is the data source name, that is ORCL or XE. Okay. In these two steps, we have provided these two things, and the next step, what we are going to provide is, we are going to provide credentials for schema, from which we are going to import our metadata. In the next step, we are going to provide credentials for the schema. In database, I think you are aware, for each and every schema, we will be having a password. To maintain security, in order to view data in any schema, we will be having a password, and we need to provide that password in order to view various tables that are present under that schema. Okay. That schema password is provided here. That is, let us say initially, I will just provide you an overview how to import data from this Oracle default schema, that is Scott, and Tiger is password for that. The moment you click on next, after providing your database credentials and everything, it should pop up a next screen. If there is any problem in your database connectivity, or if you are having any other issues, then we'll get a failure message here like this: the connection has failed. Okay, here I have, sorry, previously I have installed this X edition. Now I have installed enterprise edition only. My data source name is RCL. The moment we click on next, immediately the next scene should appear. If our credential, if you have provided our credentials wrong, if you have defined anything wrong in the previous step, it won't allow us to move into next step. Okay, here we need to check what are the components that we need to import. Let us say if we want to import our tables including their keys and foreign keys, then we can check all these things. If you want to import only tables, then we need to check only tables and we need to uncheck keys and foreign keys. And generally in data warehouse perspective, we will be importing only tables only. Why? Because they may have their predefined keys and foreign keys, but as per our requirements, we can define even constants like keys and foreign keys on tables on the respective metadata in our tool. Why? Because we need to play with the data here, because we need to create multiple joins and we need to use data as per our convenience. So in order to do all such operations, if we import keys and everything, the default joins will also get created there. Okay, if we import keys and everything, the default relationship between tables can also be created, and we cannot create our own joins here. So in order to eliminate such difficulties, as a best practice, we will be importing tables. If the data warehouse is perfectly simple, they have designed the data warehouse and they have designed data model and data warehouse perfectly, then we can import each and everything, that is table keys and everything, and there is no need for us to create joins. Even we can do RPD development in a matter of seconds. Okay, but whereas in real life scenarios, these they can't maintain a standard data model. Why? Because uh, as their business keeps on growing, they keep on adding various different tables, various different columns, as per the new tools that they are going to develop and as per the new business that they are going to adopt. Okay, they can't keep on maintaining that data model standardized. So in order to tackle with such scenarios, it's a best practice to check only tables and click on next. And these components here are nothing but, if you want to work on some if you are working, if our database is an Oracle database contains some system files like even the username and password of schemas will be present in some system file. Okay, they will be maintaining such data there. And we have something called this alias, synonyms and views. Okay, all these database components, if you want to make use of them in our tool, we can import them. But most of the cases we ignore all these things, because aliases, we ourselves create aliases here in our tool. And coming to views, okay, some projects, instead of working on data warehouse, what these business people do is they give access to they will be creating some particular views and they will be asking us to generate reports from that particular views. A view is nothing but a simple query. Okay, a view is nothing but a simple query. If let us say if a table has around 300 to 400 columns, and a single line of business, they use around only 40 columns there, and they have some logic defined, like little summations and other operations. They'll be generating query with some business logic, and that snapshot of that table is saved, and that saved part is called as view. Okay, and they will name that part, they will name that individual part, and that name is nothing but view. If our scenario demands us to create a report on view, then we need to import these views even. Okay, but mostly we will be working on tables only. Okay, after clicking on tables, click on next. Okay, here in this Oracle database, we are having all these following schemas. Among these, all these public Aura data, ORDCs, all these are system files, system schemas. Okay, in this only this cot is a schema that contains our example data. Okay, in this cot schema I am going to import this sal grade, employee, department, and bonus table metadata. Okay, after selecting these tables you need to click on this import selected button. Okay, if you click on this button the entire stuff will get imported, and most of the times by any chance, uh, by mistake, if you click on this entire screen will get hanged, and you sometimes there may be chances that you need to restart your BI admin tool even, because it can't handle that much data in a single go. Okay, now let us import these four tables. Okay, coming to the import part over here, this connection pool is very important in our BI admin tool, because the connection pool is the only place where we are going to provide a database connectivity details. Okay, the connection pool is the only place that where we are going to provide our database connectivity details and each and every other details regarding the data sources that we are using in our project. Because we may be importing, let us say we are working on some, in every business in IT we have three environments. That is, we will be developing all our projects in development server, and after developing our project we will be sending, we need to do testing. In order to do testing, whatever that development activities that we have done in development server, we will be moving it to test server. Okay, after moving into test server, test people will be testing. They will be raising defects for us, and we will be working on our defects in our this development server, and we will be, after working on defects, then we will be pushing that to this test server again, and after all testing activity is completed, then it will be moved to main production server. Okay, in order to, okay, in develop server we have one credentials, like for development activities they have given us some with no. Okay, I just want to give you a heads up here, guys. Nowhere we will be working on actual data, that is actual business data. No client is going to give us their actual business data. They will be providing us with some dummy data only. Okay, they just don't want to the IT developers to know about what's going on inside their business and what is their sales or some other thing. Okay, they will be providing us with some dummy, they will be building some dummy tables for development activities, and they will be providing credentials for that dummy schemas. Okay, for for development they have provided us with some dummy schema, and we have developed our entire report on the dummy schema. And after development the testers have completed testing even. Okay, after the entire thing is completed, this all these the schemas that they have provided for development are all dummy schemas. But if they want to push our development into production, let us say we have developed all the reports, we have developed all dashboards, and we have imported our RPD as well as users and everything to the production server. And production server, it needs to get connected to production database only. Okay, because they need, business users need actual data. They can't do anything with dummy data. If they want to work on actual data, we can't go to each and every table that is present in the physical layer, and they should change the password for each and every table. Okay, the connection pool is the only place where they are going to change this username and password of schema. For production they have some other particular username and schema. They will just changing this username and password here. That's it. There is no need to provide any credentials anywhere. Even though you may import some lakhs and lakhs of tables into our physical layer, if you have multiple databases here, then we need to create multiple connections pools for each and every data source. And after moving in from one environment to other environment, they just need to provide credentials only in the connection pools. That's it. There is no need to provide credentials for each and every table and each and every individual component. Okay. In connection pool, we'll be providing this connection pool name. Okay. As a best practice, we should avoid spaces in providing connection pool names. Why? Because for some activities, this will be creating some problem. Okay. I have given the name as just connection pool, or else as we are using Oracle database, let us give it as Oracle connection pool. Okay. And we can even, if let us say after importing some data, let us say some production server, it's not allowing connections through default OCI, and it's allowing connections only through ODBC. Okay. After migration from one environment to other environment, it's demanding some change. Then you can take such activities, such actions here. And coming to this maximum connections part, let us say only 10 users are getting involved in RPD development, then we have provided 10. Okay, let us say if there are 20 users, okay, this maximum connections part we will be defining upon number of users. After moving our entire report development part into production, in business we have around like 800 users, or maybe some 10,000 users. Okay, all these connections part will be provided here in these maximum connections. But there are a lot of calculations that are involved while providing these maximum connections. Okay, that involves like performance. They need to calculate a lot of things like performance activities, and all the other measures needs to be taken. Because if at a single go, if let us say like 10 to 20,000 people hits the server at the same time, the server may get crash. Okay, in order to handle such things, they need to maintain multiple servers, and they need to have multiple clusters. Okay, all such activities will be taken care by admin guys. We are not much bothered about that. Okay, here we have one thing called as required fully qualified table names. Fully qualified table names are nothing but table names that have their entire metadata defined perfectly. Let us say for some tables they will not have this key information, and they are not well organized. So if you click on this required fully qualified table names, then it will avoid importing such tables into physical layer. Okay, and here it is shared logon, that is the credentials that our managers provide us for to work on whatever the database that we need to work on. And coming to the next part, here it is enable connection pooling. And connection pooling is nothing but multiple pools that if let us say in general in development activities, multiple users will be working on single RPD. Okay, for such things they will provide this thing. And in this connection pool, this connection pooling timeout is nothing but if people are not going to use the connection pool for some more for specific period, like let us say the idle time will be like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If they are not using that, it will withdraw its connection instead of keeping itself connected to that particular database. The timeout happens over here. Okay, and coming to use of multi-threaded connections, like let us say we have two tables, and we are accessing the two tables through multiple connection pools even, then we need to check this checkbox. Okay, all such things as an option they are not available. Okay, as an option that is available here in the tool, but in most of the scenarios we will skip using all these things. and even this same thing even. And coming to isolation level, on we know in our reporting tool, whatever may be the reporting tool or whatever may be the report development activities, we are just going to read only. We are just going to read the data. Okay, the main task of us is to read data. And coming to this reading part, this isolation level defines how do we need to read that data. That is this committed read or dirty read. Dirty read is nothing but, even though if a end user has not committed data in the data warehouse, it's going to read whatever the data that is present. Even though they will not commit, it's going to read that data. Okay. And coming to this committed read is nothing but it will read only data that is committed in the data warehouse or database that we are going to use. And this repeatable read and this sterilizable read are some kind of advanced concepts, and I am going to discuss about that in later point of time. Okay, I have completed uh, all these components in this general part. Okay, now let's move on to this connection scripts. Connection scripts are nothing but if you want to maintain some log, this this schema was accessed by someone during this period. If they want to maintain a log in some particular table in a database, then we will be writing some queries over here. Like we will be writing some new script. Okay, physical. Here you can see, right, physical SQL. Okay, insert into table name, comma sysdate. Okay, then it will be saying that whatever the system date during which this connection pool has executed. Okay, that is performed when execute on connect. Execute before query. If someone is trying to query, that is whatever the development activities we do in RPD, at the end it will pass through a gateway. That is, it will pass through a security check kind of thing. Okay, the swiping activities, everything will be performed only in the connection pool. Connection pool is the gate pass here. Okay, in order to get data from the database, it all the whatever the operations we perform, at the end it will move to connection pool, and in the connection pool it will check with the credentials, and it's going to insert that query into database, and it's going to fetch data. Okay, this execute before connect is nothing but before querying database, then it will execute whatever the query we perform here in order to maintain log activities. All these four components are nothing but they are used to maintain log, but in real time, in most of the time, they will not be using this. And this the other thing is execute on disconnect. After disconnecting, after connection pool disconnects, then they will maintain this particular connection pool disconnect from the database during this particular time. All these things are nothing but they are just used to maintain logs. And coming to this XML part, it will always be in disabled mode. And coming to this write back part. Okay, write back operations, as I have told to you guys already, as a reporting people, we will only be working on extracting data from the database. In 99% of the scenarios in real life developments, we do only extraction only. That is extracting data from data warehouse and displaying that reports to the end users. But some kind of projects, but in some kind of projects, they will be demanding us to need some write back functionalities from in the tool, because after after viewing some report, they just want some comments kind of thing on each and every report to be saved in a database. Okay, it's very rare requirements. For such requirements, then we need to do configurations in this temporary table. We need to provide a temporary table where all the data needs to get saved. Okay, such If you want to do any write back activities, then we are going to configure in this write back page. But in most of the scenarios, in 99.99%, we will not be using this thing. Okay. The main thing we are bothered about is this only this general tab where we will be providing this username and password and credentials, and we will be providing maximum number of credentials as per the information that is provided with our administrators. Okay. We are just bothered about these things. Okay, here I am giving timeout as 5 minutes. Even it will be like default, it is 5 minutes. Okay, then click on OK. After clicking on OK, whatever the data that is present in this data warehouse, that is Oracle data warehouse, will be imported into our physical layer. Okay, the moment I click on finish, the data will appear here in this physical layer. Is this clear up to here for everyone? Okay, in all the previous steps till now, what we have done is we have imported whatever the data that is present in data warehouse to our physical layer. I, I just want to ask a question to you, question for you, a simple question for you guys. We have imported, now we have imported metadata or the entire data here.
Entire data, I guess.
No, both of you
Or
are both of you are completely wrong. What I have said at the starting of your
of
session today
metadata.
in
We'll be
R,
using only metadata.
okay, right? That's what everyone used to get confused over here. Okay.
But it is saying physical layer, right?
Yes,
Ashutosh?
in physical layer, we are going to maintain information of metadata of the tables that are present in physical database. That's what I have said at the start of the session.
Okay.
Okay. Here we are going to maintain information of the structure of the tables. Okay. Here we have imported this bonus table. The table structure of this bonus table contains these 4 columns. This department table contains these 3 columns. Okay. We have just imported structures. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
And I just want to confuse you guys once again. Here we have an option called view data. Okay. If I click on view data, here it is displaying as no data. Okay. In bonus table, it will have no data. Here data is available, right?
Yeah.
But I have said you guys that I am going to import only metadata. That then how is this data available over here?
Through connection pool, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, exactly. Okay. We will be having only metadata information here. Okay. The moment we click on view table, what happens is at the back end, see, view data from table or ORCL. ORCL is nothing but our data warehouse name. Okay. In ORCL, in this particular squad schema, okay, view data from this particular employee table. Okay. It's going to query from this particular location. Okay. Is this clear for everyone here? We will be just having only metadata, and the moment we click on view data, it's going to create a connection through connection pool, and it's going to hit the database, and it's going to fetch data from database. Okay.
Okay. After fetching this data, will it get closed or reopened?
Sorry.
Something. Connection pool.
Hmm.
Will it get closed after fetching this data or if we opened till we close it?
Yeah, we have given a connection pool timeout there, right?
Okay, 5 minutes.
Okay, for 5 minutes that
Because
that will be available, and after that it will get disconnected.
Oh,
It's nothing but the moment when we click on query, it will trigger this connection pool, and through connection pool, data will be that query will be passed to the database, and that entire data will be fetched to us over here. Okay,
uh, okay. As per our input, the connection will last for 5 minutes.
we are
So we
not
can say it is
we are not much bothered about this timeout thing and all. Okay, this
okay.
connection pool act as just like a security guard. Okay, it will check our credentials, and then it will allow us to query from database.
Actually, we have connected and disconnected architecture. So that's why I'm asking.
It all depends on
It's
that
okay.
timeout function. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Rajesh. Here in employee, we have imported metadata of employee table. That is, we have entire structure of metadata table. The moment we click on view data, what happens in the background is we are going to fetch that data through connection pool. In connection pool, we have the credentials of that particular schema. In connection pool, okay, let me put on like this. We want to connection in connection pool, we are having entire address details of this data. Okay, let us say we are maintaining all this data in some different racks. Okay, you just know you have just metadata information, that is you have an information of your rack number and individual inner rack that is present in that particular rack. Okay, you have only information of rack number and everything. In order to move into that warehouse, you need a key. In order to open that almara or something, you need a key. Okay, that key will be present in connection pool. Connection pool contains the credentials, right? Okay, you have an information whether in which rack or particular information is present. Here you have metadata information of table and various columns that are available in table. In order to view data, what we need is we need to open that doors of that almara first. Okay, in order to open doors, we have the credentials in connection pool, and from connection pool, as the credentials get verified, and that data can be imported from database directly. Okay, fine. Can we stop here for the day?
Yes, it's already
Okay,
5.
it's already done. Okay, go on, Rajesh.